One of the league's premier players, Adrian Peterson, indicted for child abuse, once again shining the light on crime and the country's most popular sport and its handling of domestic abuse.
Overnight, NFL star Adrian Peterson making the trip from his Minnesota home to a Texas jail, surrendering to police. Montgomery County Sheriff's Office telling ABC News the Minnesota Vikings running back quickly posted $15,000 bond and was released. On Thursday, Peterson was indicted by a grand jury on charges of reckless or negligent injury to a child. ESPN's Adam Schefter reporting that Peterson's 4-year-old son allegedly sustained injuries to his buttocks, thigh, and groin after Peterson spanked him with a switch. His mother reportedly took the child to 2 doctors who suspected physical abuse and alerted police.
Okay, let's start with a couple of ground rules here. Child abuse is real, no matter where it happens, no matter the reason. There are far too many kids being beaten, punched, tied up, sexually attacked, used for the pleasure of the sickest bipeds this planet has ever birthed, and there is no excuse for using a child as a personal punching bag. This is also not, as some will immediately knee-jerk and call it, a defense of Adrian Peterson, who has been suspended by the NFL for the rest of this season and may not play into next year as well. To characterize this commentary as anything of that sort could only point to the person making the accusation as one with a personal agenda, or even worse, leaping to conclusions without considering fact. This, I understand, is likely more the case, as we are daily surrounded by commentators, opinionators, and others who pathetically dribble anything but intelligence from their maws. So let us pause for a moment and consider the questions it forces us to raise out loud.
This morning, Adrian Peterson back on the field. The Minnesota Vikings star expected to play next Sunday. The Vikings taking some heat for saying he can play while he battles the abuse charge against him.
I understand this is a very difficult thing to handle, but we feel strongly as an organization that this is disciplining in a child.
Peterson speaking out for the first time since the scandal began, posting a statement on Twitter Monday reading in part, "I am not a perfect parent, but I am, without a doubt, not a child abuser."
Adrian Peterson was at that time accused of a crime. He had not been to trial, not offered a plea, and was seeking to protect himself as anyone who believes they were innocent would. So then, whether it's the National Football League or someone who works fixing sprinkler heads at the local retirement community, ask yourself, do they deserve to be barred from earning a living at their chosen profession when they are accused? Is anyone not, as we have been taught as a guiding principle, innocent until proven guilty?
That statement from the NFL says that Adrian Peterson will not be considered for reinstatement before April 15th because they say he violated the league's personal conduct policy in an incident of abusive discipline inflicted on his 4-year-old son last May.
The NFL personal conduct policy is maybe one of the more broadly written edicts enforced by any company in any industry. It serves to protect a multi-billion-dollar business where perception is 100% of reality. It is not enough simply to avoid being found guilty of a crime. Instead, as an employee of the NFL or a member club, you are held to a higher standard and expected to conduct yourself in a way that is responsible, promote the values upon which the league is based, and is lawful. Persons who fail to live up to this standard of conduct are guilty of conduct detrimental and subject to discipline, even where the conduct does not result in conviction of a crime. Now, I'm not an attorney, nor do I play one on TV, but I've been around sports, the NFL, and covered my fair share of trials over the years, so read from this as you will and interpret away. But this would indicate even being charged with a crime of any kind, which means anyone at any time can say and accuse anything, anyone, with little or no evidence. A person is adjudicated guilty of failing to live up to a standard few, if any, could achieve. Could you live by those standards? And while we're at it, that conduct policy says absolutely nothing about what might happen in the privacy of someone's home. And in this so-called enlightened age, are we not always seeking to protect what happens in the home, so long as no laws are broken, as beyond the punishment of an employer? And what is the next step when we seek to punish those who might be just parents doing what they believe is right to discipline their child? And how do we then protect and discover those children who truly are being abused by someone evil? 2-minute drill. Snap the ball. That's telling it like it is. And now I want to hear from you. Those are the questions I ask. You have the opportunity now. Send the tweet to MidPoint TV. Get to me on email at newsmaxtv.com or go to Facebook. Answer those specific questions. Stay on point, and we'll talk about it further as the week goes on right here on MidPoint, where we question everything.